Amen, somebody. Don't stop now. Talking to somebody the other day, and they said, well, I know God didn't bring me this far to leave me. Amen, somebody. I know God didn't bring me this far to leave me. I'm going to believe God did not bring you this far to leave you. Amen, somebody. I'm going to really believe that God did not bring you this far to leave you. And I know it feels like sometimes God is gone and God's nowhere to be found, but the devil is a liar. God did not bring you this far to leave you. I'm going to believe that today. Come on, somebody. You believe that today, that God didn't bring you this far to leave you. The disciples had to be warned. The disciples had to be ridiculed. The disciples had to be rebuked. They were on the ship. They were having problems. And Jesus went and said, peace be still. He spoke to the elements, and he had to say to them, O ye of little faith. How many of us need to be rebuked right now? Because there's somebody today that's teetering and tottering, don't know which way it's going to go, don't know how it's going to come out, and they have lost faith. And sometimes you need to be reminded, oh, you of little faith. Sometimes all you have to do is be reminded of what's around you. Jesus fed 5,000 with 2 fish and 5 loaves of bread. Amen, somebody. And they had 12 baskets full left. Each disciple had their own lunchbox to take with them. Amen, somebody. But it wasn't for them to eat. Amen, somebody. Because if Jesus fed 5,000 with 2 fish and 5 loaves of bread, then he could feed them again. So the food wasn't for their lunch. The basket wasn't for their lunch. It was evidence. It was evidence of what he could do. It was evidence of how he could show up and show out. And every now and then you might look back at your basket. Every now and then you might look at some of your evidence and say, if God can do that, why do I doubt he can do this? Amen, somebody. They were standing there. They didn't have anything to do anything with it. And Jesus said, what do you have? He said, well, we got this little boy's lunch over here. It's only 2 fish. He said, that's good enough. He said, only 5 loaves of bread. That's good enough. Bring me that. Give God something to work with. See, if it was to grade your faith today, some of you might make an F. Some of you might make a D in faith. Some of you might make a C in faith. Very few of us have an A in faith. Amen, somebody. But don't matter how your grade shows your faith, God will stand there and deliver. He said to the disciples, O ye of little faith. But he didn't turn his back on them. Because he said, you got faith of a mustard seed. You can move mountains. Bring him that little bit. You might be running low, but show up with that. He said, give me the 2 fish. Give me the 5 loaves of bread. And the first thing he did was broke it and he blessed it. See, a lot of us don't want to be broken. Amen, somebody. Our brother used to dance and he used to praise on a song and he said, I got you where I want you, not that you're broken. See, you're not Humpty Dumpty. See, Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. Humpty Dumpty fell off the wall. All the king horsemen and all the king men couldn't put Humpty Dumpty back together again. But I don't care how many king horsemen you get, and I don't care how many king men you get, just take me to Jesus.